And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to our second and final matchup here of the night. A best of 7 WTL Team League match to determine who makes it into Code S and who is eliminated from this season of World Team League. It is going to be Mystery Gaming going up against Team Twisted Minds. Predictions are now open. Predictions are open in the chat. Place your bets on who you think or how you think this series is going to go. A 2-0 in either direction or a 1-1 across the board. It is up to you to decide. Up to you to decide how this series will go. As up first, we have RagnaroK versus Nicoract. To go over all of the lineups, we have RagnaroK versus Nicoract, followed by Strange versus Classic, and Bunny versus YoungYakov. Ooh, some juicy series coming up here tonight, and I can't wait to dig my teeth into it. And we just wrapped up with Maturino Esports versus the Kwangdong Freaks, and Maturino, ooh, they looked powerful. Even without using their Korean, even without Nightmare, they were able to take down the Kwangdong Freaks. Hopefully this series is a little bit more back and forth. Hopefully it's a little bit more competitive and not as one-sided. That's what I'm hoping for, at least. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed as we are getting ready here for our next game, and we're diving on in. And in the top left-hand corner for Mystery Gaming, for Twisted Minds, it is Nicoract. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Gress Farm, we have the South Korean Zerg player for Mystery Gaming. It's the ace player. It is RagnaroK. Going for the 15 hatch. Now, quickly talking about the players before we get into the overall, series itself. RagnaroK has been very fond of the 15 hatch opener, the 15-15 in this matchup. Ooh, and he did go for a 15 extractor trick, but he's going for gas first. RagnaroK. Oh my god. He's gonna end it early. Now, it is unfortunate for Nicoract because he's a strong player, but he hasn't really been able to really spread his wings and really flaunt his skill so far in this team league. RagnaroK is the ace player of Mystery Gaming. It's gonna be rough for anyone to face off against him. My best of luck to Nicoract, as we do have a gas first opener. With this, we have very fast gas being taken here for RagnaroK, and he can go into a Ling Bane bust. He can go into a Roach Rush as well. RagnaroK is known to be one of the more aggressive players in the team league, or one of the more aggressive players in Korea when it comes to the Zergs. He's more aggressive than DRG or Dark or Solar. So I'm curious what's going to be done with this gas, as so far there is no Roach Warren. Lings are on the way. We have enough gas for Ling speed. I'm curious if we're just going to be pulling out at 100 or if we commit to even more gas mining, and it looks like we have pulled out. 100 gas is all that RagnaroK has, and that's all he's going to be working with. Okay, so just fast Ling speed. So in the end, he's of course going to be able to gain map control. The SCV Scout does confirm the delayed hatchery, so Nicoract, he's aware of the pull first. What he doesn't know is the fast Ling speed. So RagnaroK, his goal here is to catch Nicoract with his pants down. Nicoract, he's aware that of course their lings are going to be out, so he keeps his Reaper back at home to make sure his CC doesn't get delayed. But really, RagnaroK, he's going to be banking up those lings, and once Ling speed finishes, he's going to dive in and look for some SCV kills. He shouldn't be able to delay the base of Nicoract. He shouldn't be able to delay the CC, but he's going to be looking for other forms of damage. As the Lings are moving out, they're going to be bypassing the Reaper back at home. Nicoract, he's going for a third CC before Starport, a very economic opener out of Nicoract. As he avoids the Lings, he gets across the map. He heads towards the natural base where the drones are looking very vulnerable. Oh. And it looks like he doesn't quite get a drone. Meanwhile, the Lings do reveal themselves. They get across the map, and they will get a couple of workers. They get one SCV on the low ground, and they do apply some pressure here to the main base as well. But only one SCV kill, thankfully. They're about to get a second there. But this could have been worse, especially if the natural base was more saturated. Thankfully, because of the faster CC opener, the natural base wasn't too well. There wasn't really much going on there. So the Lings, they don't get that much damage done. They get one SCV. One SCV, some delayed mining time. It looks like we may get the Reaper as well. Do get us around. Reaper does fall. But this could have been worse. So Nicoract is able to maintain control of his side of the map. Third CC is about to finish up. We have plenty of Hellions coming out as well into an add-on swap into, I imagine, Banshees. I imagine Banshee production, but we'll see what he has in store for us as the first Overlord is coming in for a scout, confirming the Hellion production. RagnaroK, he is a Diva enjoyer, of course, we know this. And he does go into the main, he does confirm the Tech Lab researching as well. He's fully aware of the Cloak Banshees that are on the way. He is aware. He's going to be getting ready back at home. We have plenty of Queens out. Now, Hellions may still find an opening, but they do get spotted by the Ling, and RagnaroK is getting in position with his Queens, able to deflect the initial Hellions and keep Nicoract out of his bases. Now, the follow-up scout does confirm continued Hellion production. And Nicoract, he's just vying for map control. Banshees are on the way. Bailey Nest is about to finish up here for RagnaroK. Good control so far, able to pull back his drones. And Nicoract hasn't been able to do too much damage so far. He hasn't thrown anything away, thankfully, and behind this he is setting up a pretty hefty production with his Raxes. Ling dips in. Ling gets a full scout of the main, does confirm the Rax is the stim that's in production. Nicoract has been known to play mech, so it is very important for RagnaroK to recognize that it is going to be bio instead. Banshee dives into the main. Oh, bit of a missed rally though. Oh my god, almost goes down. Did go straight into that spore. Hellions are going to rotate around here, looking to try to find a way into the natural. They do get some creep tumors, but not much else. RagnaroK is able to keep up once again. As he's working on his lair. He's working on his lair. A little bit of a later lair timing from RagnaroK, but I think a lot of that was just because of the faster gases that were taken early on. It was a pretty wonky start from our Zerg player. So late lair means late bathing speed. Fifth base is going to be delayed. I believe we don't have Evo chambers, question mark. That's why. I was like, what's going on? Why don't we have any Evo chambers? I understand. All 6 gases have been taken, and RagnaroK is going to be heading into Aspire. So Ling, Bane, Muta is going to be the composition of choice for RagnaroK. See if he can get away with it. For now, the Hellions, they do head towards that third base. They get quite a lot of volleys off already, but they get surrounded. Hellions do get surrounded. They will be cleaned up. And just like that, Nicoract has lost map control. He has a Banshee remaining here, but the Lings, they go across the map, and Nicoract back at home. I believe he has some Marines. He should be able to hold on. But for the most part, now RagnaroK is free to just drone and spread his creep as much as he wants. The Lings commits? It's going to be a rough trade for these Lings. Yeah, bit of a misjudgment there from RagnaroK to try to get us around, and he does bleed out a lot of his Lings in the process. It's not the biggest loss, it's only Lings, but less than ideal. A little bit adventurous from RagnaroK. As the Spire is done and the Mutas are coming out. Now, unfortunately for Nicoract, despite having those Banshees, he was unable to scout the Spire. He is not fully aware of what's going on. The Evo chambers were delayed. 1-1 was delayed in favor of Mutas, and that's going to be a lot of Mutas. And at the moment, I believe Nicoract is not ready for that. He doesn't have turrets. He has Marines out on the field. Yes, they're harassing. They're looking for damage. He's not looking for Mutas. Oh boy. As we do see the Mutas reveal themselves to this drop. A bold move. So the Mutas aren't going to get as much economic damage, but they shut down at least one medevac. And the Mutas, they rotate around. Going to be heading towards the natural base of Nicoract. Oh, the tank is looking a little bit exposed, and one tank does go down. A good shuffling of the Mutas. RagnaroK does not lose any of them yet. As again, he may not have gotten too many, he hasn't gotten any SCVs, but he has gotten a tank, he has gotten a medevac. Still very high value pickoffs. as RagnaroK has map control, stopping any kind of drop play from his opponent. He's taking up into a hive. The hive grants him access to adrenal glands, vipers. 3-3 eventually. Oof. Heavy hits there. Does get the turrets. The tower even. Sensor tower. Muta's looking for more damage. They do barely come across another turret here. Looks like one Muta will go down. Up. Up. Oh my god. A couple of Mutas go down. Bit of an overextension from RagnaroK. I think that was 3 Mutas in total. But he does get eyes on the 4th. Meanwhile, Thors are being produced. Widow Mines as well from Nicoract. So he's refining his army for something a little bit more robust that can go toe-to-toe with Lingbane. With Lingbane Muta specifically. More additional turrets are being thrown down just to make sure that these Mutas don't get out of hand. But as RagnaroK has map control, he's drawn up to 93. Like, this is the thing that these Mutas have granted him. As he goes up, he gets another tank, gets another one as well. Getting so many pickoffs with these Mutas. RagnaroK, he has maxed out on a massive drone count. Hive is on the way. Oof. Medevacs are being shot down. And I'm concerned. I'm concerned here for Nicoract. He needs a good fight, but how can he take one? He's trying to fortify himself here on these 4 bases, but he's being pulled apart. He's having a hard time keeping up, even with all these turrets, even with all these sensor towers. I mean, the towers were torn down earlier. But now they're being rebuilt. Before that can happen, the Mutas rock up. They deny the towers once again. It's interesting that RagnaroK, he hasn't, even though he's been maxed out, he hasn't gone for a big engagement yet. The reason for that is because he's taking heavily. He's spending a lot of his money taking up. He doesn't really have a bank to trade. He's working towards 2-2, Hive, Lurker Den, Hydra upgrades as he's switching into Hydras. And there we go. The Lingbane rolls on in. The Planetary goes down. Nicoract knocked down to 3 bases. He's thankfully taking the center base, so he's still in a 4-base economy. Not too bad. But at this point, RagnaroK, he wants to get rid of these Mutas. He wants to get rid of them. He wants to transition into Hydra Lurker. RagnaroK still doesn't have a bank. He does make another wave of Banelings just in case he forced a counterattack. And here we go. RagnaroK, he wants that center 4th. The mines! Good connections on the Lings. But the Banelings survive. The Banelings roll in and they take down the Planetary. And a good chunk of Marines as well. From there, RagnaroK, he can back off, remax. Hydras are being mixed in. Eventually, Lurkers. These Mutas, they've run their course. That's a lot of mines. So there's a lot of Widow Mines there. But again, RagnaroK, he wants to get rid of these Mutas. He doesn't want to throw them away. Oh god! Oof. Oh my god, but he does. As 2 massive mines connect, the Mutas are crippled. But alas, the era of the Muta has come and gone, and now is the era of the Lunker puppy. Seismic Spine's on the way. +1 at range, Adrenal, +3 Carapace. Now, what's important about this Lurker switch and this Lurker transition is that Nicoract's army is amazing against Lingbane Muta. Mines and Thors don't do too well against Lurkers. This is where, oh my god, up! Ooh, big mine shot. I was about to say, this is where tanks really come into play. Tanks and ghosts instead. But here we go, once again, here comes the Lingbane into that center base. The Planetary goes down before it can lift off. At least Nicoract is also being active. He's going to be able to, get a kill on this hatchery. Not a cancel. Very nice pick off here from Nicoract. Well, unfortunately, he still doesn't have an economy. Like, he's still only on 67 workers. He's still on 4 bases. Desperately trying to take a 5th. Ghosts are now in production. The mines. Oh, the friendly fire. Oh my god. The traitor mines going ham on the Marines. Not like this. As yeah, RagnaroK, he's just remaxing. He hasn't made any lurkers yet. He has a greater spire on the way. The world is his oyster at this point. RagnaroK, he can kind of attack in whatever direction he wants. Banelings do roll on in. They bust into the mineral line. Lings are funneling on in as well. Oh, as there are Banelings everywhere at every turn. Nicoract, he just wants a 5th. That's all he wants. Let him get a 5th base. As another planetary goes down. And it's death by 1,000 cuts. As we can see here, RagnaroK, he has not committed to a big fight in ever at all, actually. Every single time he rolls in, it's only designed to kill a base. He's basically just focusing on crippling the economy over and over and over again. Containing Nicoract to 4 bases for as long as he can, and eventually Nicoract will starve out. Nicoract, he just can't build up a large enough army. Oh, we could have committed there. We could have gone for it, Bobby, and there we go. The Lings arrive. Banelings, they roll in once again. Another planetary goes down. How many planetaries is that? As this time we even commit to the fight. We go for the army. What is there left? A couple of Thors, a couple of Widowmines as well. GG gets called, and RagnaroK will take game number 1. GG. Again, a powerful performance there from RagnaroK, being able to start early on with a... Remember, he started off with a gas first. He went gas first into a link, sorry, into very fast link speed. It didn't really pay off. It didn't really pay off for RagnaroK, but he was able to shut down the initial Hellion harass, the Banshee harass, and keep that Spire hidden. And the Mutas, that gave him so much breathing room. He got so much map control, shutting down the drops, picking up tanks, and he didn't really get too many SCVs. Remember that, right? He didn't really kill too many workers with his Mutas, but he did keep Nicoract at home. And while he was stuck at home, RagnaroK, he took a 5th, he took a 6th, he joined up to 93, and he just got out of control. Just snowballed out of control from there. GG, well played. But now it's going to be Nicoract's map of choice. It's going to be his map of choice, and he has chosen Ancient Cistern. Okay. So another large map, which is interesting to me. To me, this tells me that Nicoract wants to get into the mid game, into the late game even. Or at least the mid game, I should say. So I'm very curious to see what Nicoract has in store for us and why he has chosen this map. As a reminder, it is loser's pick. So Nicoract, he has known ahead of time that he is up against RagnaroK. He's been planning, preparing for this series. What does he whip out? Here we go. In the bottom left-hand corner of Ancient Cistern, we have the blue Terran player representing Twisted Minds. It is Nicoract. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have for Mystery Gaming, the ace player, RagnaroK. Going for, I imagine, the 15 hatch. But if you remember, even last game, he went for an extractor trick into a gas first. He's doing it again. Okay. The same opener for RagnaroK. 2 games in a row. That is gas first. That is, once again, prioritizing gas mining here. Gas pool into that hatchery. Now, in game 1, this was for fast link speed, and it didn't really pay off. Here in game 2, he could do the same thing and hopefully get more damage done. Just kind of gamble a little bit, get some gamba going. Or he could go for a roach rush. We have options. Do have options. We'll see what he goes for. What kind of direction he takes us in. Catching him with the chat. Live VIP is drunk. Oh, did Asher tell you he's hungover again? It's the Asher. Feels bad, man. Feels bad. As we do have an SCV scout coming in from Nicoract. He confirms that, of course, it is a delayed hatchery. He confirms the fast gases. Oof. And link speed is on the way once again. As we can see, RagnaroK, he hasn't pulled back into gas, and Nicoract is making sure that that's the case. So this is the exact same opener that we saw last game. I wonder if this is just a safe opener for RagnaroK. Like, because of the faster gas and because of the faster spawning pool, this will deter, like, proxies, like proxy Raxes and any kind of early aggression like that, it would shut it down. So I am curious. As RagnaroK is going to be banking up these links. Now, what's important is that, unlike the previous game, this time Nicoract, he knows that it's not just a pull first, but he is also fully aware of the gas timing. So he knows that there's going to be speedlings rushing across the map, and he's going to be he's going to be much better prepared against that sort of thing. STI stun in the chat. Shaking my head. STI stun. Alright, let's go. Speaking of beans, during the break, I started eating when we were waiting for Sue versus Nightmare. I did have a burrito. I did order a burrito for dinner today, and it was beautiful. Well, I'm not too sure how many Aussies we have in the chat, but I got some Guzman y Gomez, and the burrito was hit the spot, bud. Hit the spot. I know that chain is also in Singapore. I know that much. I don't think it's international. Could be mistaken, but I don't think so. As the Overlord does go for a scout, does confirm the 1-1-1. Oh, as Nicoract, it is his turn to be aggressive. Enjoy here. It's inside me, Poppy. I'm excited, mate. That was my first meal since being sick. I mentioned earlier, but I couldn't eat yesterday. I couldn't eat this morning even either. It's brutal. But we're good. We're good. We're full of energy. I took my second ibuprofen during the break as well. And yeah, Nicoract, basically what's happening is that he did delay his third CC. Instead of going for a third CC, he went for a starport, so much more aggressive here. This could even be a hellbat timing from Nicoract. I'm curious to see how he pieces this all together. 2 more Raxes are thrown down. Oh my, this is looking like a 2-base all-in from Nicoract. The aggression is on. I assumed that because we were on a larger map that we could go for a longer game. And maybe Nicoract wants to lure his opponent into a false sense of security. Did I miss the third CC? Did I miss it? Is it like already done? No shot. No. Just doesn't have it. Okay. I'm a little bit torn. I'm a little bit perplexed because we have 2 more Raxes, but we also have double E-bays. The engineering bays are throwing me off because it's going to take a while for 1-1 to kick in. And there it is. 1-1 starts off for Nicoract. Okay. Nicoract, you have my attention. I'm a little bit confused. Because Stim is about to kick in, and now would be the time to hit with Stim, right? But because 1-1 is on the horizon, we may wait even longer before the attack. As the Hellions are going to be harassing across the map, just going to be poking and prodding. Again, the initial link speed timing from RagnaroK didn't really do anything, just because Nicoract was able to scout it, was able to prepare for it in time. And yeah, Nicoract, he's just going for a later timing instead, hoping that maybe RagnaroK drones up too much. There it is, Spire. Oh, okay, Spire is on the way. RagnaroK taking all 6 gases again, going to be delaying his upgrades. This could kill RagnaroK. Nicoract, he's playing this out well. As long as he doesn't get surrounded. A couple of Hellions are going to go down. But this is really greedy from RagnaroK. So RagnaroK, he is delaying his melee upgrades, his carapace upgrades. He's going to be delaying his Ling Bane overall, like the Ling Bane prowess here in favor of Mutas. And against a 2-base all-in, Mutas are not ideal. Oh, that was a kill. Oh my god, that was a kill, not a cancel. And here we go. Nicoract, he's sending everything across the map. This will be hitting with 1-1. And a big 2-base all-in that's been building up for the past, like, 3 minutes. It's been a long time coming, but it is coming. Stim is done. Combat Shield is lined up as well. It all ends here. Either he kills RagnaroK or he dies trying. Bailing speed is done. The Marines reveal themselves. And now, finally, RagnaroK realizes what's going on. He has no banelings. He has no banelings ready for this. The Marines, they stim on forward. Without banelings, we cannot engage. 12 banelings are in production, but they're not going to finish up. But that could be game. This is it. The banelings are going down one after another. A couple of them do roll in. Decent connections. Oh, very clutch baneling connections. As a third base does go down, but does Nicoract have enough to keep on pushing? He can't slow down. We gotta go, Papi. We gotta go. Gets on top of some of the overlords. Does not quite supply block RagnaroK. Mutas have arrived. But you can see that some of those baneling connections were just good enough, and there aren't that many Marines. 15 workers go down. RagnaroK, he's looking to catch some reinforcements, but he runs into a wave of Marines. Big pickup for Nicoract. He still has a supply lead. I think he can still pull this off. He can do this. Nicoract with a delayed 2-base all-in. And RagnaroK being too greedy, going up into mutas. Far too greedy here. Gets caught with his pants. Finally. The pants were down, Papi. He was exposed. The mutas, they don't cover you up. Not like this. And Nicoract, he's wedging himself in between the third and the natural. The hatchery is taking heavy fire. Banelings roll in. The mutas coming from behind. Oh, some good baneling connections, but there are still too many Marines. Oh, it's going to be close. The Marine count is being reset. RagnaroK, he's holding. Kind of. He loses the base. RagnaroK will clean up this army, but he loses his natural. He does have a 2 more hatcheries up, so he can mine. He's still in this. Oh, that's a lot of medevacs. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. It's a lot of medevacs going down. Nicoract still 2-base all in, by the way. He's still committed. He's sending wave number 3 across the map. RagnaroK, he needs time to recover. He's got a couple more banelings on the way. See, RagnaroK, were his pants down, or does he just never wear pants? That's the real question. Good target firing on those banelings. Does take one to the face. Oh, but a lot of mutas are being targeted down. These Marines are getting out of control. GG gets called. It's too much, and Nicoract does take game number 2. Oh, let's go. GG, well played. Nicoract fighting back here against RagnaroK again. Solid 2-base all-in was hidden from RagnaroK. RagnaroK, he was not able to scout. His overlords did not make it into the main. He had no idea what was going on. So greedy to rush into that spire, into those mutas as well. And Nicoract barely able to pull it off there. For a moment, I was like, yo, is RagnaroK going to be able to hold on? Can he stabilize? No, Papi, no. GG, well played. We have a series. And this is pretty huge. This is pretty massive. RagnaroK is the ace player of Mystery Gaming. And for RagnaroK not to get a 2-0, suddenly I'm concerned. I'm concerned for Mystery Gaming. We see Twisted Minds. They still have Classic. They still have YoungYakov. Twisted Minds, they still have their ace in the hole. They still have their ace up their sleeve. Mystery Gaming don't. This is gonna get close. We're gonna get rowdy, Papi. We're gonna get rowdy. Ay. A big win there for Twisted Minds. And here we go. We're getting ready for our next matchup. For our next best of 2. It is going to be Strange versus Classic in a PvP. Un momento. Predictions are open. If you're in the chat, place your bets on who you think is going to take this PvP. A shout out to Miguelito. Why are you awake? Why are you awake right now? Este Vindicta. Oh my god. Hello, welcome, Papi, welcome. Yeah, the pants were down, Papi. They were down. Oh, it was beautiful. Hello, Lee Jim in the chat. Istan, Slow Bro. Like, what makes barely legal Yakov so good? Oh my god, that's a good question. That's a good question. I mean, he's been getting older. He's been getting wiser with time as he has been aging as a person, as a human. What makes him so good? That's the thing, right? YoungYakov, arguably, he is the ace player of Twisted Minds. Arguably, Classic has been underperforming in Code A. But here we go. We're getting into this in the bottom left-hand corner of Royal Blood. We have Strange for Mystery Gaming. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the ace player for Twisted Minds. It is Classic. I don't want to pop off too soon. I don't want to... You know, we can save YoungYakov for later, Poppy. It's okay. It's okay. Is he legal? we don't have to look into that. It's fine. It's fine. As we're getting into this, and this PvP is going to be difficult to call, to be honest. I believe this is a rematch. Let me double check, because these two teams did face off earlier in the tournament. And yes, okay, so Classic and Strange, they faced off a couple of days ago in WTL Code A, and they went 1-1. They went for a tied up series 1-1, and that's not going to be good enough. Like, again, Classic, Twisted Minds, they need, Mystery Gaming, they need to bring it back here. They need to make up for RagnaroK not being able to 2-0. The pressure is on Mystery Gaming. The pressure is on Strange. Oh boy. As we are getting into this, so far, just a double gate opener all around. Nothing too crazy, nothing too fancy. I guess the most interesting thing is that Strange does opt not to go for the wall off at that ramp. Instead, he throws down his gateways next to his bases, so he is going to be baiting his opponent to go into Adepts. Classic, there's no reason not to go Adepts here in this position, and we do see a more defensive opener here from Strange is going to be going Stalker Sentry. Meanwhile, Classic going for double Adept, and that's what we expect. Now, the reason why in a PvP you would go for a double Adept in this position is because there's no way to wall off the natural, which means there's no way to stop the Adepts from getting into your mineral line. So Strange, he's like inviting aggression into his main base. We'll see if he can deal with it. We have seen a lot of Protoss players that play like this, where they're able to have a good enough army and be in position and actually shut down the Adepts without them getting out of control. It's a really risky thing to do though, so we'll see. We'll see if we can pull it off. As we have 2 Adepts moving out across the map, we have 2 more on the way. Oh my god, meanwhile Strange, he has a pylon! Oh no. He has a pylon hidden in the main base of Classic. Ay. This is going to get a little bit rowdy. We're going to get crazy, Poppy. Twilight Council opener here from Strange. That's going to be his tech of choice. We can see him delay the expansion at the natural base of Classic. Adept shade in. They commit to the shade, and they will focus down as much as they can. 2 probes go down. We get, oh, not quite a third. Oof. A third worker falls. An unfortunate glaive earlier did miss as the probe went into that gas geyser. But we have continued continued Adepts being produced here from Classic. Hallucination Scout does confirm it's going to be a robo opener after the Nexus, of course. Very economic, very safe play here from Classic. With that robo, he can get into Immortals, of course. Meanwhile, Strange, with this Twilight Council, he's going to be warping. Oh my god, he's warping Adept straight to the main. He may have lost 3 workers, but how many workers is Classic going to lose? Uh-oh. Ooh, a big reaction. 2 probes go down, and no mining whatsoever in the main. The sentry. Even a sentry's going to go down. This is an insane amount of damage being done here. Classic stuck on 1 base economy. More probes are going down, and I mean, he doesn't even have his natural up and running. The pylon in the main, the MVP for Strange. The pylon has been found out, but it has already paid for itself. 5 probes, so much less mining time. At the same time, we have 5 Adepts shading across the map. Classic, he's upset, he's angry, and he wants to do some counter damage. 3, 4, 5 oh my god. 6 probes and counting. And again, this was on Strange. He invited this into his main. 9 probes go down. With that, Classic takes a worker lead. Both players have been hurting, and we are taking up in different directions. Again, with that faster robo from Classic, we saw that it is for Immortals, and that will help make up for the lack of Blink Stalkers. Speaking of, Strange is working towards Blink Stalkers. So Strange, he's going to have a more flexible army, a more maneuverable army. Meanwhile, Classic, he will have the advantage in a head-to-head fight. More solid, more robust. But slower. Slower in comparison. So Classic is building up his immortal count. Adepts shading across the map once again. And there is still no wall at that ramp, so the Adepts, they will make it into the main. And more probes will fall. So this is my PSA for if you're an aspiring Protoss player out there, and if you're in a PvP, just wall off your natural. Sorry, just wall off the main. Just wall off. You know, it just saves you a bunch of hassle. 4 more pros went down. Classic maintains his worker lead. Aye, aye, aye. And with that, Strange is just continuing to try to keep tabs on Classic. Again, nothing too fancy. Classic now working towards his Twilight Council. I wouldn't be surprised if Classic goes towards Charge, +1 in Charge, instead of Blink. Again, he's already so far behind when it comes to Blink, and he has a lot of Immortals. May as well round it out with Charge lots just for an anti-Stalker based army. But we'll see. We'll see how he makes use of that Twilight Council. How are you? Oh, buenos dias, papi. Buenos dias. Enfermo. Estoy enfermo, papi. I couldn't cast yesterday, but it's okay. And there we go. Classic is moving out across the map. How many Immortals does he have? What, 3 Immortals? Soon to be 4? Jesus. It's quite a hefty army here for Classic. He is working on Blink behind this and Forge for +1. With the help of his Warp Prism, he basically has Blink with his main army. It's more of a defensive Blink, but, you know, a way to micro nonetheless. Stalker does go down. If a third base were to be taken, then Classic is there to stop it. Solid force fields are thrown down as well. Should be able to get 1 sentry, but the overcharge is popped. And Strange will hold. Good force fields from both players. Strange will survive. He will hold on. And Classic has to be careful not to overcommit here. Again, Blink is done, so Strange can try to hunt Classic down. He can punish him if he overextends. As Classic is just posturing, looking to pick off whatever he can. Behind this, Classic is working on a robotic space, so he's already taking up towards disruptors. He has a 3rd base in production as well. So really, he was just puffing up his chest. He never really intended to try to break the natural. He was just containing his opponent to 2 bases. But did he poke the bear? Because Strange, his army is looking quite terrifying. He's got 3 Immortals of his own. He has Blink, of course. He has 4 more gates in production. So this is looking like a 2-base all-in. Strange, he has a 2-base all-in setup. And Classic has to survive. God, as Strange is working towards Glaive Adepts. Again, to further confirm that Strange doesn't really intend to go for a longer game. He does get scouted. Big hallucination scout here from Classic. He does confirm the gateways, does confirm the lack of 3rd, and he should be getting ready back at home. There we go. We have some shield batteries on the way. We have 2 at the 3rd. We could do with a 3rd shield battery even. Maybe even some shield batteries at the natural. All Classic has to do is survive. He needs to live, Poppy. He needs to live. Oh boy. And here we go. Strange long distance mining, sending everything across the map. He hasn't revealed his Glaive Adepts yet. To be fair, Glaives is still halfway done. Still a ways off. He's warping in Stalkers. Does he know he has Glaives on the way? Does he? It's interesting that he's not already like working on that Adept count. For those wondering, the way that Adepts work in the dynamic of PvP is Adepts, they do a great job at like tanking Immortal shots and even Stalker shots as well. They can of course collapse and close the distance, get on top of the army. Glaives is about to finish up. Strange, he's got a Dark Shrine on the way as well. And here we go, the fight is about to occur. We have 2 disruptors here for Classic. We have a 3rd one on the way. Strange is all in. See if he can make this work. He does pick off a Stalker. Adepts do shade into that natural. Probes are going down. 4 probes, not bad. But the adepts do get cleaned up, and again, Strange, he's on a timer. He's got to pull the trigger. Looks like he's waiting for his Dark Shrine, and he's just giving Classic so much time here to get more Disruptors, warp in more Stalkers. Oof, Nova goes off, takes down a Sentry. Another Nova as well, just zoning away his opponent. Looks like a couple more probes went down off screen from a couple of those adepts. DTs are on the way, but we have an Observer with the main army. This DT, yeah, it gets shut down immediately. What else does Strange have? He's been going for different twists and turns. Glaive Adepts, Dark Templar, none of it really working. And here we go. He is committing. He does catch a Disruptor. Gets the Disruptor for free. Not too bad. He's going to be rotating around. Getting a couple of workers. And here we go. The main fight does occur. Nova's going to be going off as well, just zoning away Strange. It looks like Strange maybe wanted to take a goal base, but alas, that is not going to happen. More Novas go off. They connect with the Immortals. None of the Immortals go down, but you can see that Classic's army is just getting larger and larger as time goes on. The Immortals, there is no escape. They will go down. Classic taking a massive fight. The Stalkers, they dive on the Disruptors, which is good, but it's just not going to be enough. GG gets called, and Classic will take game number 1. Oh, GG. And a solid game there from Classic. Again, he's the ace player for a reason. We kind of look to him to kind of lead the charge for his team. Strange, that was a bit of a strange 2-base all-in. The reason why I say that is that usually when you're 2 bases like that, there's a lot of pressure on you to get damage done. As time goes on, it gets worse and worse for the all-in player. So it was really interesting to see Strange delay his all-in by waiting for Glaive Adepts, by waiting for Dark Templar, and those didn't really pay off in the end. They didn't really work out for Strange, and alas, he eventually was overwhelmed by Classic. GG, well played. But game number 2 is going to be Strange's map of choice, and he does have a chance here to bring it all back. He has taken a map off of Classic before. He can do it again. And here we go, spawning in the bottom right hand corner for Team Mystery Gaming. It is Strange. And in the top left hand corner, we have the ace player for Twisted Minds. It is Classic. Here we go. Oh my god, and as we get into this, already a wild opener. So Classic is going for a gate expand setup, which makes plenty of sense. We are on Babylon, and the way PvP works is that if you load into a map like Babylon or even Altitude, for example, where you have a ramp coming into the natural, it is usually safe to go for a gate expand, a more economic, greedy opener. But Strange does no such thing. He doesn't go for a gate expand. He goes for a 2-gate opener instead on the high ground. So he's going to be threatening a 1-base all-in to Classic. And we'll see how Classic responds. He can ignore this and just go for his Nexus anyway and be ahead and try to bait Strange into an all-in. And that's exactly what he does. Okay. Classic, he throws down the Nexus. He's like, mate, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do? I'm going to be economic. I'm going to be greedy. Are you just going to play this out and be behind, or are you going to all-in me? The answer is, it's going to be an all-in. Strange, he has a pylon in the center of the map. It should be a proxy robo. And we'll see if Classic can hold, as he does scout the pylon in the center of the map. And there is, oh, not a robo, a 3rd gateway. This could be a 4-gate 1-base all-in. Okay, interesting. Now Classic, he does have a Zealot on the way. Again, now it's Now it's a game here of Classic trying to defend and survive, and Strange trying to kill Classic straight up. Oh boy, the pressure is on both players. That is so far still only a third gateway from Strange. Zealot does come out, and Classic is going to try to depower this pylon, depower this gateway. And he may be able to. Uh-oh. Yeah, Strange is going for a... He's setting up another proxy. Pylon goes down, and there it is. Strange does go for a proxy robo. He will have to repower that gateway in the center of the map, though. It is pretty important that he does so, and there we go. Pylon is thrown down. Stalkers arrive. Classic maintains control of the center of the map, and he will force Classic back. Oh, but Classic does outtrade his opponent here. Gets a couple of hits in. And Classic will take control of the center. Second pylon is thrown down. Oh my god. As Classic is forced back. Took one too many hits. And Strange will keep on pushing. Meanwhile, what does Classic have to defend? He has 2 more gates on the way and a robo. He has a shield battery on the high ground. He's soon to have an overcharge. Can he keep up? Likewise, Strange has his first Immortal in production. But I believe Classic's own Immortal should arrive around the same time. I appreciate that Classic he throws down a second pylon, second shield battery, make sure that everything stays powered. Strange does have a larger army. He's got a lot of adepts. He's got a decent gateway force, and he can force his way through. Shield battery is going to go down. With the death of that shield battery, the adepts, they can shade in. They do shade their way in. Overcharges pop, but it's not going to be enough. And Strange has broken through. He gets on top of the Immortal. Busts through the Stalkers. And, oh, he's going to lose his own Immortal in the process, but I believe Strange should have enough to snowball out of control. He gets the Immortal here of Classic. And Strange, a game is all he needed to take down his opponent, and that's exactly what's going to happen. He has too much. He has a massive supply lead, and Classic, he can't keep up. He just cannot keep up here in the production. Did not take this seriously enough. Did not scout the proxy robo. Didn't realize how committed this was. Gateway's depowered. The army busts into the main. We do have another Immortal in production, but there's no way Classic can get this out in time. There's no shot. He's trying to chrono. He's trying to get it out. Force field does run out. The Immortal does pop. But alas, there's only one Immortal against a sea of Protoss. The Immortal goes down, and Strange is doing it here. He's fighting back for himself, for his team. GG gets called. And Strange takes down Classic in game 2. We are tied up 1-1. GG. Oh my god. The ace players are struggling tonight. Both RagnaroK and Classic, both of the ace players for their respective teams, were not able to 2-0. We have a series. Oh my. And am I getting ahead of myself? Am I getting ahead of myself by saying the ace players weren't able to, take leads for their teams? Is the ace player really YoungYakov? Mate, YoungYakov has been popping off. He's been doing so well in Code A. He's been looking dominant, and arguably YoungYakov is the favorite here. I don't know, like I got a lot of love for Bunny. But looking at what happened previously, this is a rematch. A couple of days ago, YoungYakov 2-0'd Bunny. He 2-0'd him. Can he do it again? Can he do it again? Oh boy. We're here to find out. Here we go. Predictions in the chat are open. Predictions are open. Place your bets on how you think this series is going to go. Again, this is a rematch. They faced off, 4 days ago at this point, the first day of Code A. And YoungYakov, that was the beginning here of YoungYakov's reign of terror. And is it still reigning? In the top left-hand corner of Neo Humanity, we have for Team Mystery Gaming, it is Bunny. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner for Twisted Minds, we have the Red Zerg player, YoungYakov. Young? Yeah. There you go. Not so young anymore. Again, since the last time we saw him, he has hit puberty. He has grown up. He has matured as a person, as a player, as a Yakov. What is he now? Adolescent Yakov. I saw Elder Yakov thrown around the other day, and I don't think we're quite there yet. He's not an old man. He's not old and wise, not yet. But I would say he's still in his prime Yakov. Oh, looking better than he has in a very, very long time. I've become a fan. I mean, I've always been a fan of YoungYakov, but even more so nowadays. It's really cool to see him pop off. I see the chat. Eternal Yakov. Giga Yakov. Oh, they grow up so fast. It's been a week. It's been a week, Papi. He's lived his life. He's got a family. He's got kids. You know, he's got a retirement plan. He's been through a lot. Been through a lot. Long life. But here we go. We have a Rax Expand from Bunny. Pretty standard opener from our Terran player. Likewise, back at home, YoungYakov going for a Hatch Gas Pool. Nothing too crazy yet. Now, if you haven't had the luxury of tuning into Yakov over the past week of play, he has been very decisive. Now, he's been getting some really good results, but a lot of his wins are off of all-ins. He went for a Ling Queen Nidus all-ins, Bane busts as well. YoungYakov has been very aggressive and very decisive this entire week of play, and that's how he's been able to take down players like Bunny, take down players like Nightmare as well. For the most part. There was a macro game against Bunny, which YoungYakov looked very impressive in. Very impressive. It was on Gressvan, if I remember correctly. So he has shown some of his like mid and late game prowess, but mainly it's been from these like really unorthodox timings, and we'll see if he can pull that off again. YoungYakov, he already pops off, taking the center base as his third. Very exposed third base, but it does grant YoungYakov access to that Rich Vespine Gas Geyser. It also means that creep can spread across the map that much faster as well. So a very bold base to take, especially in this matchup. The reason why I say especially this matchup, because Hellion aggression is very common, and I do think that Hellions, they can have a pretty easy time punishing this center base just because it's so exposed and so out there on the map. Meanwhile, behind this, Bunny is going for a 1-1-1, which means a delayed third. A delayed third base from Bunny, and we see why. It is looking to be a Hellbat push. Very aggressive build here from Bunny. I think it makes a lot of sense, especially against this forward base. He wants to punish the greed here of YoungYakov. He wants to punish how assertive he's being. Meanwhile, YoungYakov is rushing into Roaches, which is a good way to make use of that Rich Vespine Gas Geyser. So this is going to be a very interesting dynamic. We have Roaches versus a Hellbat push. It's going to be Hellbats with Marauders. Viking is on the way. Armory gets thrown down. The Hellbat pushes upon us, and it's possible that Bunny's going to hit before the Roaches come out. Oh boy. Now, the Overlord did confirm the 1-1-1, but the Overlord didn't see the Armory, and I don't think it saw the Marauders being produced. We have Lings on the way. YoungYakov is bringing his queens to the front lines. He's trying to fortify himself, trying to really solidify that forward position. Roaches are in production. They will come out in time. Now, the question becomes, how hard is Bunny going to commit to this attack, and how well will it go? Now, if this attack from Bunny falls on its face, he will trigger a big counterattack. YoungYakov, he's cutting workers very early on. I mentioned earlier that he has been winning off of all-ins, and that's exactly what we're seeing right now. The queens are pushing out through the center of the map. They're getting caught in the slow zone. The Marauders have arrived. The Hellbats reveal themselves. But likewise, the Hellbats are also caught in the slow zone as well. It's getting really chaotic. Roaches, they do get a little bit, they do fly too close to the sun. Some of them go down. The Marauders putting in a lot of damage in the back line. Now, Bunny, he will preserve some of his units, and that's important because YoungYakov is all in. He's sending his Roaches and his Lings across the map. Ravagers are being morphed in as well. Bunny has to try to muster up a defense. He has bunkers on the way. 3 bunkers in production. a Liberator as well. Thankfully for Bunny, again, he was going for an aggressive opener. His third CC has been delayed in favor of units. And he's going to be able to focus down a lot of these roaches. These Marauders are doing so much here for Bunny. Hellbats are being focused down one after the other. They all fall. First bunker falls as well. We do have a tank, but it's even causing some friendly fire. The choke point, though, is real. YoungYakov, he's running out of steam. The tank goes down, but the bunker stands strong. And with that, Bunny holds. Bunny does hold on. He loses 10 SCVs in the process. And YoungYakov is in a rough position. He's trying to drone as best he can. He still has a couple of Ravagers alive. He's picking away at these depots. He will get one, at least. Behind this YoungYakov, he's droning. He's droning as best he can. Can he maybe get another depot out? He wants it. He wants it, Bobby. Oh, he may even get two. There we go. Two depots will go down, and good pickoffs here from YoungYakov. Yeah, behind this, we have a lair on the way. He's sending more roaches across the map. He's looking to contain. I don't think YoungYakov intends to break this position. He just wants to contain Bunny for as long as he can. Again, we're in a really awkward position here where Bunny has a very late third, so he can't really take control of that yet. He can't expand. YoungYakov just droning, working on his Evo chambers, his lair. He does back off. And the game is going to settle down from here. We're settling on down, Bobby. The Bunny's being active with some drops, which is a good way to come back. But that drop is empty, so he's just kind of feigning aggression, forcing YoungYakov to turn back around. Now, YoungYakov, he has a choice. He can either saturate his third and take a fourth and go for a longer game, or he can cut workers at 3-base saturation and go for an all-in. And go for like a follow-up all-in with 1-1. I do think that YoungYakov can hit a very strong 1-1 timing. And we'll see if he goes for it as we have a Liberator wreaking havoc in the natural. Oh my god, 4 drones and 2 larvae going down. But you can see YoungYakov, he's getting ready for his push. 1-1 still halfway done. We still have a ways to go before that can kick in. The tank positioning is looking pretty good. YoungYakov already moving out. Does confirm the third base is taken. Does force an overreaction as well. Again, YoungYakov, he never intended to attack. He just popped up his chest. Intimidated Bunny into lifting up his CC. And now the real attack is coming. Got 5 Overlords on the way, 4th base as well. YoungYakov just looking to reinforce. He's still waiting for his upgrades. Roach speed just kicked in. Need to wait a little bit longer. Now, when this attack hits, Bunny will have Stim. Stim is about to finish up. He has, I want to say, 3 tanks in position with 1 Liberator. But YoungYakov, he can sort up his army. He can come in from multiple directions at once. He's going to be focusing here from the left-hand side, getting on top of the 3rd base. Biles will zone away the army. He's trying to get on top of the tank. There we go. The tank goes down. A Liberator putting in a lot of damage as well. YoungYakov forcing his way through. He gets on top of the 2nd tank, but the 3rd one does stand strong, and Bunny cleans up the army. Again, that was a rough fight from YoungYakov. He does kill 14 SCVs. I do think that he intended to come in from both sides, but only coming in from one angle did hurt him in the end. That was a very efficient fight from Bunny. And the longer this goes on, the worse it's going to be for YoungYakov. He's trying to drone. But there we go. We've got more drones on the way. We have a Baleen Nest as well. Bunny, he's gone through the worst of it. So Bunny will force a later game. YoungYakov wasn't quite ready for this, so not ideal. He's going to try to pivot away, try to drone as best he can. Get a 4. Transition into Ling Bane. we have a game. We have a game on our hands. We've survived, Bobby. We've survived. I love this from Bunny. Again, they're empty. There's nothing there. So once again, going to be keeping YoungYakov busy. Fire Force cleaning up whatever he can, getting some tumors. Trading with the Lings. YoungYakov is about to max out. Does have bailing speed on the way. I do think that the best chance for YoungYakov is to engage this army in the center of the map, and here we go. Bunny does on siege, is moving out. He'll be exposing himself. Ooh, and YoungYakov tries to pounce. Oh, but that's a lot of tanks. A lot of tanks do siege up Bunny, pushing through. And this is not going to be an efficient fight for YoungYakov. No Bailings, very few Ravagers, and Bunny is snowballing out of control. Yeah, he busts onto that center base, and a lot was riding on that 1-1 timing for YoungYakov. He was all in, and for that to fall in its face, he was just a little bit too far behind. Bailings are rolling in, but they're going to be connecting with Marauders, not with Marines. A beautiful spread from Bunny, and Bunny is going to be looking to take it game number 1. He will fight back. The last time they faced, YoungYakov took him down 2-0, but here, this time, Bunny is looking strong. And he is not going down without a fight. Gets through the roaches, gets on top of the Ravagers. He's already gotten the center base. He gets on top of the third. GG gets called. Bunny takes game number 1. GG. Duh. Again, that was a scary game for Bunny. He was up against the ropes, up against the wall for a long time there. I do think that the 1-1 attack from YoungYakov was blundered. I do think that it left much to be desired. The execution wasn't ideal. We saw YoungYakov just, have a really rough fight there. Within range of 3 tanks, coming in from one angle, from one choke point, within range of the Liberator as well. And yeah, he wasn't able to kill or cripple Bunny the way that he wanted to. And now we're getting into our next game. This is going to be YoungYakov's map of choice. It is going to be Babylon, a very small map. Not as small as Neo Humanity, but this tells me that once again, YoungYakov wants to be aggressive. He wants to be aggressive. He wants to be in the face of Bunny. But the problem is that now Bunny's on notice. He's already had a lot of experience with YoungYakov. I mean, he got 2-0'd earlier this week, and he just experienced Neo Humanity as well. He's aware of how aggressive YoungYakov is going to be. I'm sure our Terran player is going to be a lot more defensive as a result. And here we go in the bottom right-hand corner of Babylon, the South Korean Terran for Mystery Gaming. It is Bunny. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, going for a 15 hatch. Also, sorry, going for an extractor trick, we have the Red Zerg player, YoungYakov. 4 Twisted Minds, and it is a 15 hatch. Let's go. So this is an opener that has been rising in popularity in this matchup in ZVT. The reason why is because of the 2 racks. The 2 racks opener has been very trendy amongst the Korean Terrans, amongst the active Korean Terrans. I'm talking about Byun, Kyor, Maru. Looks like Bunny, not really that kind of player though. He's going for a racks expand. So in the end, this 15 hatch opener won't be as effective for YoungYakov. The reason why you do this is you get your hatchery up and running, you get into your queen production a lot faster to defend against the Reapers, and you get to cut some corners and drone up a little bit heavier as well, as you do skip your links. Now the downside is that this opener does delay your gas, which means you have delayed link speed. Not the most important upgrade, especially if YoungYakov decides to go into roaches, which would make a lot of sense. Typically, if you go for a 15-15, roaches are a natural transition. Just because your link speed is already delayed, may as well skip it, may as well go roaches. So we'll see. As Bunny's just going for a Rex expand. I say a Rex expand, I think that was a CC first. Oh my god. So Bunny, being a lot more economic, a lot more greedy, going for a CC first here against YoungYakov. He will get away with it. SCV gets across the map. Does confirm the hatchery. YoungYakov is just droning to his heart's content. He's got queens on the way. Again, because of his opener, he's skipping his lings. Third base is on the way. Will be spotted by Bunny. And will be taken by YoungYakov. So we're just going to be getting into our games from here. Again, I would kind of give the edge early on to Bunny just for being a little bit more greedy and more economic. Meanwhile, it looks like YoungYakov doesn't go for the Roach Warren, and he will go for a delayed link speed as it is now in production. Meanwhile, once again, I do appreciate this from Bunny. He did it in game 1. He's doing it again here in game 2. Specifically against YoungYakov, I think this is very strong. He's going for a 1-1-1. Bunny does have a Rax into a factory, into a starport. I do think that it's wise to delay your third base against YoungYakov just because of how aggressive he has been overall this entire tournament. So you may, like, this is a little bit inefficient from Bunny. It does mean that he has a worse economy getting into the mid game, but he's safer overall. And he can be aggressive himself. We saw that last game it led into a Hellbat push. Here, very fast stim from Bunny. You have a Viking in production to hunt down these Overlords. Overlord dives in, and I believe the Overlord will see the starport. So YoungYakov, he's fully aware about the delayed third. He's aware of the 1-1-1 opener. Hellions try to harass across the map. I think they get one drone for their troubles. Just one. Oh my god. As we do have a pretty fast Baneling Nest. That was, what, a 4-minute Baneling Nest here from YoungYakov. A little bit suspect. Part of me wants to believe that it's a defensive Baneling Nest, but he could go for a Bane Bust. He's droning though, thankfully. He is going to be droning. Hellions are poking and prodding, trying to dive in whenever they can. And yeah, YoungYakov, he's focusing on his economy. He does have a safety Baneling Nest, but it looks like he was just getting ready for potentially a Hellbat push again, as he will have access to Banelings in case that were to happen. Now he's working on a lair. So it was just a safety Baneling Nest from our Zerg player. Meanwhile, behind this, oh my god, that is 4 additional Raxes. 5 Raxes in total, and Bunny is missing something. He is missing a CC. This is a 2-base all-in. Oh my god. Bunny doing his best Nicoract impression. My oh my. Yeah, we saw Nicoract go for a big 2-base all-in against RagnaroK, and hey, it worked out well. RagnaroK was rushing into mutas, into a Spire. He was caught with his pants down. YoungYakov, he isn't that kind of player. So Bunny isn't going to have as much success, or he isn't going to be as lucky as to catch a Zerg player being too greedy. So we'll see how this dynamic plays out. YoungYakov is just getting his double Evo chambers for 1-1. Baneling speed is on the way. He prioritizes Baneling speed over his 1-1 upgrade, so a very safe play here from YoungYakov. Got a 4th base on the way. He's running up to 60, around 66. 3-base saturation, pretty good. His lings, he's checking for a 3rd. He's trying to get a read on what exactly is going on. And so far, he's doing the right call here by making nothing but army. But he needs Banelings. He needs Banelings because the all-in is coming. It all ends here. Bunny's getting in position, sieging up his tanks well ahead of time. 9 Banelings are in production, but they're not ready yet. They still need a little bit more time. There we go. They are finishing up. 5 more Banelings are on the way. Baneling speed isn't done. No, no! The majority of the Banelings, they get caught out. And that may just be too much. The Banelings went down. Bunny pushing his way into the natural. Oh no, the target firing is too good. The Banelings get annihilated. The Lings, they come in on their own. They're going to go down. This 2-base all-in is working wonders for Bunny. Snowballing out of control. Baneling speed is finally done, but it's too little too late. As Bunny, he's busting into the natural. GG gets called, and Bunny will take the series 2-0. Winning it all here. for his team for Mystery Gaming. GG, well played. Oh, Bunny clearly learning from his previous series against YoungYakov. YoungYakov's hyper aggression did not quite find too much success here, and this 2-base all-in worked wonders for Bunny as well, catching YoungYakov unawares, not quite ready for it, and the target firing. So many banelings went down without a single connection. It was insane, and it was just too many losses too quickly. With that, GG, well played. Congratulations to Mystery Gaming, as they have qualified for WTL Code S. My condolences to Twisted Minds. Twisted Minds, they are a great team. They're an amazing team, and in an ideal world, we have them make it through. You know, we have them be a part of Code S as well, but there were only 3 slots, and 4th place is not good enough. GG, well played. With that, it's going to be Maturino Esports, CranKy, and Mystery Gaming making it through. And tomorrow, we have the final day of Code A. It all ends tomorrow with CranKy versus Mystery Gaming. The winner goes up against Maturino Esports to crown the winner, the champion of Code A. Money is on the line, seeding is also on the line. So these matches, they still do count, they still do matter. But again, we have our top 3. And my heart goes out to Twisted Minds. My heart goes out to YoungYakov. YoungYakov, he did so well for himself in Code A. Very impressive results from him and from the rest of his team as well, but not enough to overcome some of these other big players and big teams as well. So GG, well played. Again, tomorrow we have the final day of WTL. So if you enjoyed the broadcast, if you enjoyed World Team League, and if you want some more WTL action, then we got you covered on the CranKy Ducklings. On the CranKy Ducklings, papi. Quack, papi, quack. Oh. As I do get the predictions through as well. Oh, and with that, I believe we are done. We are done for the night. Hold on. There you go. We are done for the night. This was our second broadcast today. We casted Grand Platypus Open earlier, and we just wrapped up with the WTL. So I hope everyone enjoyed themselves. Hope you all had a great time. It was a great day of StarCraft. You know, hearts were broken. You know, love was had. You know, there were some ups, there were some downs. You know, personally, I was a big fan of YoungYakov, and I want all the teams to make it through, but it's not possible. Not possible. And I hope everyone enjoyed themselves nonetheless. Again, I apologize for not being able to cover KSL this morning or WTL last night. I am under the weather, but I have recovered for the most part, and we should be going back to our regular scheduled programming as it should be. Tomorrow we have 2 broadcasts. We have the Sparkling Tuna Cup in less than 24 hours, and then right after the Tuna Cup, we have the last day of WTL. Because we missed out on KSL, I will have a catch-up stream at some point this week, during the week. We will have another replay cast of the Korean StarCraft League. We may do a catch-up cast of WTL, because we missed out on WTL last night. It was day 5. We missed out on day 5 of WTL. A little bit less priority on that, but if we do have a slot available, we will cover those games, even though we already know how those matches went and we already know the results of that. We didn't get to cast, we didn't get to see them, so may as well cover them if we get the chance. So yeah, outside of that, thank you so much everyone for watching. Thank you so much for your support. We always do appreciate it, and I hope everyone had a great time here tonight, as always, on the CranKy Ducklings. If you want to follow more of us, we are live here on a daily basis. !socials in the chat. You can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Discord. We are all things CranKy Ducklings, so make sure to follow us. Oh, that's not. There we go. Make sure to follow us on the social medias so you can be notified when we go live. Otherwise, follow us here on our Twitch, on the CranKy Ducklings. We are live on a daily basis, so, you know, if you enjoy StarCraft, if you enjoy esports, if you enjoy our casting, then follow us. Let's go. Tomorrow I may have a co-caster. Depending on how Asher feels, he may be available tomorrow to be able to cast alongside me. I would appreciate a co-caster for at least one of tomorrow's casts. Asher, please. So I may be able to have another co-caster, but we'll see. We'll see. Regardless, the show will go on. Outside of that, thank you for watching. Thank you so much for the support. Next cast is tomorrow for Sparkling Tuna Cup, and if you want, you can follow me, light_VIP. I stream whenever I can throughout the week. I don't stream over the weekend just because our weekend is pretty busy. We got a lot of casting to do, so no time for ladder sessions or anything like that. But yeah, maybe tomorrow, maybe like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I'll try my best to stream throughout the weekend and squeeze in some ladder games. Maybe some other games as well, like Diablo 4 or Final Fantasy. I'll do my best. Do my best. Feel better. Oh, thank you, Papi. Thank you. Thank you. Catching up with the chat. Bunny probably pissed off about the 2-0 last time. True. Aye. But regardless, thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for the support. We'll see you guys tomorrow for some more CranKy Duckling action. And until then, take care. Enjoy yourselves. Have a great weekend. And we'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Hasta luego.